I call Alistair Scott?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I wasn't quite sure where the list speaker was getting at. I think he was trying to talk the Auckland house prices down. He was trying to reduce the rateable value of the assets that any Auckland City Council might want to rate and raise revenues against, which I would have thought would have been in a conflict with any potential mayoralty aspirations. But nevertheless, try and tell that to the Aucklanders that he wishes their house prices to be reduced, halved, a third off. I'm not sure what the discount that he wants to achieve. Nevertheless, Mr. Speaker, I can say that there are Aucklanders moving to the Wairarapa because there is opportunity there. There's opportunity in the Wairarapa. There is opportunity in Wellington. There's opportunity in Christchurch. Mr. Speaker, not everyone has to live in Auckland. Not everyone has to choose is forced to live in Auckland. They can choose to live elsewhere, and there are lots of places that Aucklanders can go to. Even Wanganui, Mr. Speaker. There are lots of choices, there's lots of opportunities, so I suggest if one cannot afford a home in Auckland that is going to cost them close to $1 million, look elsewhere. Look elsewhere. Mr. Speaker, to the bill. This bill, despite what the opposition say, is not confusing. It is actually very simple. It deals with two aspects: residential property and the fact that it is purchased and sold within 2 years. That's it. That's all that we need to talk about. It is that simple. That is part of a suite of legislation that this party is passing to contribute to freeing up land, part of the housing zones that have been nominated. Mr. Speaker, this is sensible legislation that supports that initiative. It is not based on Chinese-sounding names. We don't develop property or investment policy based on Chinese-sounding names, unlike Mr. Twyford, supported by his leader, Mr. Little. Give it a rest has been shouted from the other side, but unfortunately that is the policy of of the Labour opposition, alongside a capital gains tax. Now, some of them won't support a capital gains tax, I know that, but some of them will. And unfortunately, they need to get their house in order to come out in some sort of united policy. Mr. Speaker, this is. I just want to help Mr. Nash with the house with the greatest connection. Now, if Mr. Nash is really that confused, if he is unsure about the house that he has greatest connection with, I suggest he just goes and asks his wife.
We can ask
because
her.
I think that is so obvious where one's home of greatest connection is. There is no debate. To suggest that it's confusing and difficult to understand is a nonsense. Mr. Speaker, I am very pleased to support this bill.
Members, the question is that the amendments recommended by the Finance and Expenditure Committee by majority be agreed to. Those of that opinion will say aye, and to the contrary, no. The ayes have it. The noes have it. A party vote is called for. The clerk will conduct a party vote.
New Zealand National.
59 in favour.
New Zealand Labour.
32 in favour.
Green Party.
14 in favour.
New Zealand First.
12 votes opposed.
Māori Party.
2 in favour.
Act New Zealand.
1 in favour.
United Future.
1 in favour.
Thank you.
Members, the ayes are 109. The noes are 12. The motion is agreed to. Members, the question now is that the motion be agreed to. Those of that opinion will say aye, and to the contrary, no. The ayes have it. A party vote is called for. The clerk will conduct a party vote.
New Zealand National.
59 in favour.
New Zealand Labour.
32 in favour.
Green Party.
14 in favour.
New Zealand First.
12 votes opposed.
Māori Party.
2 in favour.
Act New
1
Zealand.
in favour.
United Future.
In favour.
Members, the ayes are 109. The noes are 12. The motion is agreed to. This bill is set down for committee stage next...
Taxation Bright Line Test for Residential Land Bill, second reading.
The bill is set down for committee stage next sitting day. Call on order of the day number 5.
Shop Trading